Hey everyone, what's up? I'm Fergie and I'm a UX designer based in London. Today I'm partnering with Bravo again to bring you this video about how you can use the Payments with Stripe feature. We already have our design in Adobe XD, so we're going to use those all-important Bravo tags to make a working e-commerce experience and view it using the Bravo Vision app to test it out on our devices. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so here we are in XD with our designs. And you might recognize this from the last video where we were creating the form and setting up the API so that our users could book classes and amend their schedule by removing classes. Now we're going to take this app further today by adding an e-commerce store section for users to purchase equipment, accessories, and merchandise. So first things first, we need to go through and add the all-important Bravo tags. So let us start with our product page here. So I've just called this page store. I've put a search and filter because I want users to be able to maybe find something specific that they might be looking for. If there's quite a lot of things here, that's usually a pretty helpful feature. And you can see I've got this little card design here, and then just the navigation bar that I was using, same as before. To get started, here we have our top bar. So we all know this from the previous videos. This is just container top bar. And then what we want to have here is our search. So at the moment, this is just a container. I'm just going to call this search so that I know what it is. And then inside of here, you'll see we have the different things. We have the text field, the icon, and the rectangle for the search bar background. And then there's also an area so that Bravo knows what size to make this container. For us to have a search functionality, you can see I've already got the tag here, and we can find that underneath actions. So if I just tap here and open this section, and if we scroll down, we will find here search and filter. So we need to add this tag, component input text, action filter, and this goes on the text layer. So this is the tag that we have added here already in advance. So that's how we have our search working. And now to get on to listing our products. We're going to do this in a very similar way to how we were displaying our recommended classes and our available classes. We need these to be a list. So because we're going to be using Airtable as our database source, we don't need to create this product tile for each and every item. We just need to do it once. And then when we connect the API and bind the data to the UI, then Bravo is going to do all of that for us. But let me show you what I have within my product tile here. Firstly, you'll see I've named it as a container. I have the price, which this is just for the pound symbol. Then what the price would actually be as a text field. I have the product name, and I've made this flexo, and that tag means that that text area will expand if a product name is longer and won't just fit on this one line. It will wrap and go on to the next line here. I have a photo, we have the background, and then of course, because it's a container, we have the area. And that is all we need to create a list of all of our products. So you can see not too many tags to worry about there. Once we have selected our product, we're going to go to the specific product page. And this is where all of our Stripe payments tags come in. So you'll see here in my top nav bar, here I've added the product name. We've got our image and we've got our price along with an extra text field for that currency symbol. And then you can see here I have a little bit of a sort of form going on. We've got some text input fields as well as some buttons. If I just move my navbar layer out of the way, you'll see we have a pay now button and a cancel button. So let's start adding all of these tags. Again, we're going to go to our master tag list, and all the way at the bottom you'll see a section here called one-time payments. And this is where we're going to get everything that we need. So you can see all of these other tags that we might want to be using for creating a payment. And what we'll do today is I'll show you the minimum fields that Stripe requires. But if there are other ones you want, for example, you might want to be adding an address, or maybe you want to add, collect some metadata. So maybe you want to let your customers add a comment to their order for some reason, then you can also do that with that sort of metadata field. Okay, so that's where the tags are. And the things we're going to collect are name, credit card number, phone number, and email. And now you see I have these little pink input hidden texts off of my artboard, just here on my pasteboard. And that is because that is a reminder for something very important we need to make sure we include in our design. So you'll see here that this text actually has some Bravo tags added to it. And this is because I wanted to show you exactly what we need to add, but actually when it's on your artboard and in your design, it can just be transparent. It doesn't need to be a visible layer. This is basically so that we can bind the currency and then also the amount to the product page, so that Bravo can tell Stripe how much to charge the customer for this particular product. So firstly, you'll see we have one for the amount, and then we have another one for currency. And if I go into my artboard, if I just expand this out, you'll see I've got them here. And they're literally just invisible, and we can move them anywhere we want to. They don't need to be in a specific place, they just need to be on the artboard. So I have mine here. If I again just turn up the opacity, you'll see that just text layer there. And I've basically just taken off and put that down to 0%. So that's quite important. Now I am in the UK, so I have set the currency to GBP, Great British Pounds, but you might want to set yours to euros, which you would just put EUR. So basically you just need to add in the currency there, US dollars, USD. So just make sure you're adding that here. And then again, for the Stripe amount, we don't actually need to put a number in here like I have on this example, because we're actually going to bind that when we move into our data binding section. Okay, so those are the first two most important fields we need to have on this page. Once you've added those, you could just go ahead, like I've said, turn off that opacity and continue designing your screen. Okay, so I have a name field. We need to collect the user's name, and then Stripe will make sure that that is correct and matches the credit card that they're entering. So here again, I just have my rectangle, and then I have a text layer called name. And what we were doing before with our forms, if you remember, is we were using component input text. And for certain types of form fields, you would specify exactly what it is. So what we need to use is component input text. And then because this is the customer name, we use Stripe customer name. And let me show you that over here in the tags list. Okay, so we want to find the customer name field right here, Stripe customer name. And then you'll see here in the what is it column that you also need to have that component input text. It doesn't matter which one you put first, as long as both of these Bravo tags are on that text layer, then everything will work just fine. Okay, so the other ones we have are credit card number, phone number, and email. So let's go across and have a look at those. So we can see credit card input needs to be component input Stripe credit card. So that is what we have over here, again on the text layer, component input Stripe credit card. Most important, put it on the text layer, don't put it on the group, don't put it on the shape layer. And then phone number, similar to name, we need to make sure we have component input text, and then it's Stripe customer phone. And you guessed it, it's pretty similar for email. We have the component input text tag, and then followed with Stripe customer email. And you'll find all of these here. So if you also wanted to create perhaps a donation application, perhaps it's raising money for charity, you could use this currency input field, you could use the amount input field, so that the user could specify those themselves and make a donation of the amount that they wish. Okay, then once we've got all of our form fields set up like that, we of course need to have our Pay Now button. And what this will do is straight away make that Stripe payment. So you'll notice we don't have a basket, it is just buying that one single product. So if we have a look at the tag on our button here, you'll see we have Action, Stripe, Checkout. Okay, so you'll see that one down here. Checkout action is at the bottom of that payments list of tags, and this sends the Stripe checkout data. And that's all you need to add there. And then my cancel button is just going to work like a back button. And then once that order is successful, I want the users to see a screen that tells them, yep, this has all gone through, your order has been successful. And in the case of this yoga studio, users will actually be collecting their purchases from the studio. So it'll basically be paid for and reserved, and they can pick it up on their next visit for their class. So I've then added a button here that just goes back to the products page. Okay, so once we go into prototype mode, we need to make sure that our product is connected to the product page. So we just connect, I've used the image here as the anchor point, so whichever product image I click on, it will go to the product page, and because we will be using Airtable, it is going to make sure that whichever product we click on here is the same here. So we don't need to create this product page multiple times for each item. And then you can see there aren't any links on this one because that's all going to be done inside of Bravo. And then here, when we have our order successful, we just want this button to go back to our product screen. And just like that, we have now set up an e-commerce within our app. Now I'm just going to move my navigation to be back where it needs to be. There we go. And it is time for us to sync with Bravo. So because this is a project I've already used, and this is the same file I used before, Bravo recognizes it and says, hey, you can update yoga project, which is exactly what we're going to do. And if this were a new project, or maybe I wanted to create it as a separate app for test purposes, then I could just go ahead and create that new project here. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next, and don't forget to like and subscribe.